Hello people, welcome to dartbucket, and in today's video we'll see how you can architect your production grade application using Riverpod, right? First things first, inside the lib folder itself we only have the main.dart file where we are just returning an app inside of a stateless widget, right? Everything else has been put inside the src folder. So let's begin with this app thing. This app returns a material app.router. So this is how the routing has been set up. We are using go router, and for every page we have a route path within that page file. So suppose this is the splash view, so we have a route path here /splash. So all you have to do is just say context.go homeview.route path, whatever the route path of the UI file is, right? Okay, so that was about routing. Next, let's talk about the commons. So inside commons we have a controller for all the common controllers, providers, and all the common repositories, and in here goes all our common views or widgets. So Splash is a common thing, that's why it lives inside the common, or an app bar that is common to the whole application can live inside of this view. All right, next we have the core folder. This is the API. This is where the heavy lifting happens. This is where all the API calls happen. So you already have functions written for get request, post request, put and delete requests. Those are mostly what you need, but you can have more requests. It uses HTTP out of the box, right? And everything is exported using this core file, so that all you have to do is import this, right? Next we have some failure management, just in case there's some exception. We can't manage every other exception, so we have this class called failure, right? Next we have defined few types just to make sure that we return either a failure or some other type, whatever the function prefers. All right, next we have feature. So every other feature has its own folder inside feature. So if there's a product feature lives in here, home feature lives in here, and everything, let it be controller repository that belongs to that feature, lives inside the particular folder of the feature. For instance, we have a product feature, so all the views live over here, all the repositories live right here, and all the controllers live right here, right? And just for the purpose of clarity, all the API calling happens inside of repository, and whatever data comes from there goes to the controller and it is passed to the UI, right? So that's that. Right here we have our models. So we have just one thing, product class. Inside res we are managing our assets. So for every image asset there is its complete path present. So whatever asset you add inside of images should be mentioned here, and any asset that you add inside placeholders should be mentioned here. And not only this, you can have multiple assets, you can have fonts as well, and please do mention them here itself in the assets.dart file, right? Next we have endpoints. Just as your project grows, you get more and more endpoints, and you can mention them over here, and you can refer them using endpoints dot notation, right? Next we have the utils folder. Inside of utils folder we have an alert service just to show various alerts in our application. We have a config file. This can be modified for the purpose of logging data right in your console, right? Okay, next we already discussed about router. Then we have a snack bar service. Wherever we wish to show a snack bar, we can pass in a context and a message, and the snack bar appears without using scaffold messenger, right? So that's the whole structure of the application. All right guys, let us quickly run this application and see everything in action. All right, there we have our splash screen, and this is our products list. Let's quickly go to our console. Let's see, do we get anything? Okay, right here you can see we get to know that there was an HTTP request of type get, and it was requested to this URL. There was no authentication required, and this was the response. All right people, you will find the link to this repository in the description, and this repository exists in the form of a template. So all you have to do is just fork it. You can tap on this button on using your GitHub account to fork this repository, and once you have forked it, you can use this as a template, create a new repository, and enter the repository name. You can call it, let's call it edu for now, education, and let's create the repository. All right, once you have this repository based on top of our template, you can just clone this to your system and start working on it. So this is how you can use this repository as a template for your new Flutter project. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this helpful. Do drop a like, do subscribe to the channel. This is dartbuckets signing off.